Hey everyone, in today's hug, we're going to talk about your low back. Guess what I got on December 28th? I became a low back specialist. This was actually part of my continuing education for my personal training license I've had for probably about 10 years. And I did this to help you, okay? So we want to live in these beautiful pain-free bodies, and this, of course, helps a lot. However, there's also things that we can do to make this work even better. Now, the causes of low back pain can be like, say, a bulging disc, osteoporosis, arthritis, but oftentimes it's posture or it's lack of movement. And we know if you don't move it, you lose it. Motion is lotion for the joints, okay? So the more you move, the better. And walking is so good actually for your lower back. But for today and this series coming up, we are going to discuss, or I'm going to discuss, ways that you can support your low back and do exercises to show you how to strengthen your core, which wraps all the way around. Okay, this is your entire core. So when you're sitting, there's a big problem. So the best way to sit is upright, vertical, straight, shoulders back and down, shoulders aligned with your hip bones. Okay, but even then, your hip flexors, which go in between the top of your hip and the top or the bottom of your hip and the top of your thigh, connecting that to make your hips flex, that actually gets tight because it's compressed. And what happens is your back gets weak because it's being stretched, okay? So when you sit, that whole backside, the posterior chain is getting stretched. And this is when you sit upright correctly. Your feet are both planted on the floor and you're upright. There's still issues. So you want to get up and move more. You don't want to sit for hours at a time. Every 55 minutes, set your alarm and get up and move. Okay, you can do some rebounding or just walking or some stretching, but just get up and move. Okay, so for the other issues, like for the bulging disc, I go to the chiropractor every week, but I definitely recommend it at least once a month, okay? For maintenance. Now, if you have problems, you might want to go more often, but just for maintenance, once a month is really good. And for the arthritis and osteoporosis, an anti-inflammatory diet definitely helps, as well as supplementing with vitamins D3 and K2. And we've discussed those before. I'm going to demo what happens when you sit. So when you're sitting upright, pretend that this is your pelvis, okay? We have something called an anterior tilt or a forward tilt. And basically it's like, oh, I'm going to pour that cup of coffee out. Oops, don't want to do that, right? Or a posterior tilt is when your pelvis tips backwards, okay? What we want is we want to keep the coffee in the cup by having our pelvis neutral, okay? So too far forward means it's like you're sticking your booty out behind you, or too far backward is like you're rounding and slouching, all right? When you sit like most people sit, which is slouching, the problem is you still have those tight hip flexors. However, now you are putting more strain on your low back. By that, you are rolling your shoulders, your head's going forward, which totally messes up your posture when you're doing everything else, okay? It's called forward head posture, right? I'm sure you see people like that all the time, like they're on their phones and they're texting or they're just not using good posture. And so we want to be mindful of that so we can correct it, okay? And sitting up straight, just make sure you feel your little sits bones underneath you connecting with your chair. Shoulders back and down, and try to keep everything at eye level so you're not like this, okay? So for the rest of the series, what we're going to do is we're going to do strengthening first, strengthening of the core, strengthening of the lower back, and we're going to do some stretching and mobility work. And then next week, I'm going to do some exercises to show you, to help you get up off the ground. So my 89-year-old mother-in-law spilled something out of her oven and she was afraid to bend down and clean it because she was like, I'm not sure how I'm going to get up off the ground. So I'm going to try to talk her into coming over and being a demo model for me. Won't that be fun? And she's pretty awesome, but I need to teach her how to get up off the ground so that she can, if she's willing to do the work, right? That's always the way. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink unless you have thirsty horses. So we know that you guys are thirsty horses because you are the rebels. You are here to prove to your friends and family that frequency is everything. So let's finish with a big fat juicy hug. Sending you so much love on this beautiful Monday. Oh, and I'm rocking the new tank top from the store. This is a great shirt for working out. It's nice and lightweight. And the logo came out really, really nice. So anyways, you guys have a beautiful week and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.